So I just want to apologize in advance for the audio quality. I grabbed the microphone off of my camera because I was using these and I sounded like I was in COD, and before that I was using my laptop microphone and it just wasn't very good. It was okay. It sounded like I'm in an echo chamber. It still sounds like I'm in an echo chamber, but it's a little better now. So with that out of the way, I'm making a video because I have something to talk about, and that something is Logitech. Just broad topic. I want to cover a couple things. I want to cover their gaming stuff, and I want to cover their logo and how it's kind of gotten better, but then worse, and then better again-ish, kind of over the years. And that's just because it's something I personally find fascinating. So roll the intro. No, I'm just kidding. So this all kind of got brought to my attention this morning. I was reading a review kind of mindlessly for some reason about it was going over like the differences between Logitech stuff and Razer stuff and who's the best. Kind of a weird comparison. Now, when I'm asked what I think about Logitech gaming stuff, or when I decide to tell someone what I think about Logitech gaming stuff, because the truth is nobody cares about my opinion, I kind of think they don't try all that hard. Talking about Logitech, of course. As far as non-gaming stuff goes, I think they're the best. I think they make great peripherals, and that's just what I think. I've had a mouse of theirs for about 10 years. The performance of it hasn't changed. I've changed the battery like twice, and it just hasn't been an issue ever. Their gaming stuff, on the other hand, they're just not a staple in the industry whatsoever. I feel like the only thing they've ever done is kind of just clone like Corsair and SteelSeries over the years. I don't feel like they're a pillar because I think you've got like Razer and their end kind of doing their own thing. Then you've got Corsair doing their thing, and SteelSeries has always been kind of there as well, doing their thing. Quick example, here's a Logitech mouse that you may recognize as Corsair mouse because it looks like one, but it's not. Here's a Logitech keyboard that has a strong scent of SteelSeries, maybe even a little Razer sprinkled in there with that brushed aluminum kind of going on. But it's neither of those. And it's not like they can't do their own thing. They have in the past, and it looks like this, which is awful. It is the most advanced mechanical gaming keyboard in the something as of 6 years ago. And it is so advanced that they put a giant divot where your wrist is supposed to go when you're playing a game or typing. Like, sorry, I was kind of in the way there, but yeah, look at that beauty. It is massive. But yeah, that aside, the aesthetic that they always seem to go for is like kind of out of touch, like super cool Transformers type of thing. And, opinions may differ, but that's not what I really go for. Like, as far as gaming stuff goes, I'm kind of in line with just about anything but that. I spent like over $100 a number of years ago on a wireless headset from them, and it is to this day, including everything I've ever complained about, the creakiest piece of plastic that I've ever bought. Um, any peripheral ever, any device ever, it's the creakiest. It is absolutely incredible just how like poor quality it was. And this is something they marketed very highly. It's out in the studio. I could probably go grab it just to example it, but doing this just made it sound like it wanted to break. And I mean, these things talk all the crap I want about Corsair. They deserve it, but extremely high quality build anyway. With that out of the way, though, I want to talk about their logo because that's just something that hurts. So I can't like validate this myself, but this is a 2-second Google search I did of the history of Logitech logos. Um, Now, there's a couple things I want to point out. So 1981 to 1985, they had this kind of font going on that was very common at the time. Microsoft used this sort of font for their logo. They have this cool kind of L-shaped thing in the corner, never to be seen again. Little kind of symbol here, so two L's in a square box, kind of cool. The next one up, 1985, 1988, they gave it this weird kind of thing. It doesn't look as good in my opinion, but it matches kind of like the skinnier, like more conservative, I guess, font of the time. So Logi is more bold than Tech, whatever. Moving up 88 to 97, Abomination. I guess they were going for a more artsy kind of thing. Um, this is clearly supposed to be an eye as drawn by like a preschooler. Maybe these are eyelashes, maybe they're just like a flash or something. This guy up here is an arrow, and then there's this awful kind of teal, and the arrow is like an off red as well, sort of thing. Not very good looking. The font is pretty okay. I don't know why the G has that protrusion though. 97 to 2012. This is the one I'm most familiar with. Even worse, in a sense. It looks cleaner, but it's worse in the sense that like it takes this one and it oversimplifies it. It gets rid of the arrow, so you have a random red dash up here. It takes the eye and makes it look like when somebody is angry on the opposing team of like Wii Tennis. Uh, it keeps the same teal, rounds it off. Completely nonsensical logo unless you have the context to this one. And even with the context to this one, it's ugly. Moving up to the next one, they realized, hey, maybe the abomination, maybe that teal, isn't doing us many favors. Let's kind of move it to the background. And then finally, they just dumped it most recently, gave you this one. Sort of getting back to good, kind of. But something that bugs me, they took the L themselves. And by that, I mean, they don't capitalize it in it anymore in their own, like, I guess, logo. In They don't capitalize the name of the company anymore. And it, I just don't feel like that has a whole lot of self-respect to it. I think there's better things they could have done there. And that's what bugs me most about this one. That and this jut out of the G is a little bit out of place, but I can kind of let that slide. Not capitalizing the L after doing it for all these years, after struggling, fighting the shape of the L for all these years. Because the problem with the L in Logitech is it is very lopsided. It's a very lopsided letter. So it's flat along the bottom, and all the weight of the letter is on the left hand side. So you've got a very kind of like vacant letter. And in order to kind of mask this over the years, they've done different things. On the 85 to 88 one, they have the O kind of encroaching on the L. That's fine. That works. It's hidden. It looks okay. The 81 to 85, they have the O kind of underlapping the L, I guess you would call that, which very much fits the theme of the logo as a whole. The whole font does that. All the letters kind of do that. In 88 to 97, they very much shorten the bottom portion to kind of avoid that. They do it with the E as well. In 97 to 2012, again, you've got the O kind of going over the L. In 2012 to 2015, they remedy this by, again, putting the O kind of actually like almost damaging the L, like it's cutting it off a little bit. They do the same with the T. And then most recently, they don't capitalize it. That bugs me. I feel like there's better things that could have been done there. I get that it's a logo and that like you don't have to like it's not like you have to signify that it's a proper noun when it's just supposed to represent the company, but like it's clearly a word, like this is the name of the company. So I drew this in about 3 seconds in Microsoft Paint. It's absolutely terrible. It looks like I'm a college professor and I'm trying to draw something. That said, keep the G the way it is with the little U shape. I know I didn't do that here, but picture it. The L can kind of just maybe completely go under the O. This and the top of the G can be the same size. The I can remain lowercase. They are lucky. They are blessed to have a letter that goes below the other letters. I forget what the name of that is, but the G has that little offshoot. Because of that offshoot, it can kind of shield the blow for this whole L to just kind of almost go into it. So they can have this L, it'll still be capitalized, and it won't look that out of place. Like the whole word might look a little bigger on this side than it does on this side, maybe. But I mean, they've got the H on the other side. I don't know. I just feel like this is something that they've never tried, and maybe they could have. Ideally, though, if we're choosing favorites, right here, that symbol in the top left with that logo from the second iteration of their logo. I think that's kind of clean. Maybe they can thicken up the font a little bit. Maybe they can thin out the symbol a little bit. But overall, I think this is the best combination of what they've done so far. It looks good. It looks clean. There's a lot they can do with it. I just think they have been fighting that L for the longest time and just kind of taking L's the entire time. And I don't understand that. So that's kind of my whole completely uneducated and barely hinged rant about Logitech as a company and as a logo. There's no point to this video. It's just something I wanted to get off my chest, and I figured it's a good excuse to put a camera in front of my face because I have a somewhat coherent set of thoughts. So I hope that was enjoyable or whatever. Maybe somebody feels similarly. I doubt anybody cares about Logitech logos that much. I don't care about Logitech logos that much. I just saw a big picture and I was like, wow, this company's just been failing for years at making logos while also being a really successful company. So there's that. All right. See you in the next whatever I make. Goodbye.